There was something kind of odd about Record Store Day this year. I think maybe it was my imagination. I don't know, but I want to talk about that coming up. Plus, open the mail and probably more stuff as well. All that coming up on Friday Night Vinyl. Hi, my name is Frank. It's Friday. That means time to kick back, relax, and talk music. So, as I said off the top, it's a jam-packed episode. These Friday episodes are always jam-packed, aren't they? I got a new record I want to show you, talk about that. This was a recent purchase. I want to open the mail and talk about that whole Record Store Day thing. So, let's get at it. Record Store Day. Here's the thing, and as I said off the top, maybe this is my imagination. I don't know. I would like you guys to weigh in and let me know if you noticed this as well. Obviously, it was an odd Record Store Day this year. Record Store Day is typically in April. This year, it was postponed, and it was held on 3 dates. They call them drop dates, and there was one in August, one in September, and one in October. And on the August drop date, I was out of town. I was nowhere near a record store, but there was an album I wanted. It was Fights, A Small Deadly Space. And in the end, it actually didn't matter that I didn't go to any record stores, because this particular record never made its way to Canada. And I thought, how hard is this going to be to get? And a couple of you dropped me DMs that day and said, hey Frank, check out Discogs and online. That Fight album is available all over the place, and it's selling at regular retail prices. And that's not something I typically notice or see on Record Store Day. I mean, on Record Store Day, you see items popping up on eBay and whatnot for 2-3 times retail cost from flippers. And that's why I was so surprised to hear this Fight album was available on Discogs and elsewhere, as I said, for regular retail. I ended up picking it up for $27.99 US plus shipping, of course, which is actually pretty darn reasonable, at least nowadays, for a Record Store Day release. So I'm sure this wasn't the case with all Record Store Day releases. I mean, obviously some are more highly coveted, and they were probably selling, they're hard to get and selling for many more times their value online on Record Store Day and immediately after. So maybe this Fight album was just an exception. I don't know. I was kind of pleasantly surprised to see it online for a reasonable price. And I'm not sure if that's due to overall lower demand, or maybe the fact that some record stores, some bricks and mortar record stores, were closed or operating in limited capacity and relying perhaps more on online sales to sell their Record Store Day albums and selection this year. I don't know, but I think I reaped the benefit from it. So that's why I think was kind of odd, the fact that these albums on day of release on Record Store Day were easily attainable online for a reasonable price. At least this one. I'd be curious to hear if you had this experience and maybe it was isolated. I don't know, but it struck me as kind of cool. And I guess the other thing with the Record Store Day this year was I noticed that prices, at least here in Canada, seem to be up across the board, maybe up 20% compared to previous years. And I mean, Canada's probably partly due to the fact that the dollar is kind of weak now, so it costs more to import items and sell items like records. I don't know. Maybe prices are also up at the retail end. Anyway, that's what I figured was kind of odd, which brings me to the mail. This item here, this is actually that Fight album that I was just mentioning, and Fight was Rob Halford's first post Judas Priest band. On a recent Record Store Day Black Friday, the first Fight album, War of Words, was reissued on vinyl, and this time the second Fight album, A Small Deadly Space, was reissued on vinyl. And back when this came out in 93 or 94, it was such a limited pressing on vinyl. I think it was only available in Brazil. So this is really the first significant pressing of this. I think there were 1,800 copies worldwide. So I found this on Discogs, as I said, for $27.99. So I was happy about that, and I figured, what the heck, let's open it up live on camera and check it out. And here it is. No invoice. But, it's a gatefold sleeve too. I wasn't sure what to expect from this album. Ooh, sorry about the rumbling there. Anyway, this is Fight, a Small Deadly Space. And the sticker says, first vinyl release in the Northern Hemisphere. The 1995 sophomore album by the band led by Rob Halford and Judas Priest. Newly created gatefold art, red and black, marbled pressing, limited to 2,500 copies. I said 1,800, we're at 25. So let's crack it open and see how it looks. I opened the shrink carefully because I like to save the hype stickers. Do you save the hype stickers? What do you do with them? I don't always remember, but I try to remember. And I was kind of worried about this pressing too, because I heard stories about the last Fight album, and some of the pressings some were questionable. And I believe it was pressed by MRP, and they're the same pressing plant in Memphis, USA, that did Ozzy Osbourne's Ordinary Man album. That album was horrible, so I heard this one sounds okay. So there's the album artwork, and it's a gatefold. Let's see. Okay. It was a funny phase for Rob. I like the debut album much more than this one. This kind of took more of an alternative turn and approach, I suppose. But I'm a big Halford fan, so he put something out, I am gonna buy it. There's the wax. There's the vinyl. So I look forward to giving this one a spin. I will report back in a future episode in regards to the pressing. But yeah, I'm very happy to find this for such a reasonable price. Record store day release. Mail's fun. Let's open more mail.
Dear 33ers, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. A thumbs up also helps this channel continue to grow. I appreciate your support.
This one came from Danilo. I'm not sure if I'm gonna butcher this name. Metacavoc. Danilo Metacavoc. I'm sure I messed that up. And he is from, I don't want to mess this up. He's from Switzerland. Look what he sent me. Here's the thing. Danilo is 12 years old and is a regular viewer of this channel. So I think that's totally cool. The fact that we are reaching multiple generations. They made me this awesome card copying the Channel 33 RPM logo. And inside, he wrote this nice note saying, hello Frank, I'm a beginner audiophile and I am so glad I discovered your YouTube channel. Thanks for sharing so many helpful informations about record collecting. I think your channel is the best. Best regards, Danilo, 12 years old, from Switzerland. And he included some Swiss chocolate. Absolutely love it. Danilo, and I hope I get your name right. Thank you so much for watching the channel, and welcome to the world of record collecting, and I wish you many, many years of fun and success with your new hobby. Welcome again. Thank you for the awesome card. Cheers, my man. Cheers. Finally, I want to show you this. Picked this one up recently. This is the new Whitesnake album called The Rock Album. And this is part of a new trilogy of albums David Coverdale is putting out, and he's calling it the Red, White, and Blues series. This is the White Album, the Rock Album, and then he's going to have a Red Album, which would be like love songs, and a Blue songs, and a Blue Album, which would be the Blue songs. Anyway, this is the Rock Album, and it sort of covers the Slide It In, the Slide It In and albums that came after that. And what's interesting about this one is that all these tracks are remixed, and in some cases, new instrumentation has been added to them as well, which typically I would consider sacrilege, right? Like once a song is recorded, leave it alone. Don't mess with history. We all remember what happened when Sharon Osbourne had the bass and drums re-recorded on Ozzy Osbourne's 2 debut albums, Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. Like, it caused an international incident. But I'm surprised to report that it actually works on this album. David Coverdale pulls it off along with his producer and his engineering team. I mean, it sounds great. The songs sound big and they flow really well. Because I mean, these songs come from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and it really flows coherently. And I mean, you're not going to notice a huge difference. Like, it's remixed, and maybe in some cases there's some additional instrumentation added, but it's not a radical change. It's not like day and night. Like, the first thing I noticed, for example, when I heard Still of the Night, there's that breakdown in the middle, and you can actually hear the bass now. Obviously, Still of the Night came out in 87 at the time. You know, it was popular for the bass to be low in the mix, so they really brought it up, and it sounds really powerful and deep, particularly, as I said, in the middle section of Still the Night. So that was really cool. And this one came, of course, on, where's the opening? The white album, so it came on white vinyl, if that matters to you. Anyway, I do recommend this album. It is worth checking out. I streamed it as well. It doesn't quite sound the same on Spotify, but on vinyl, it just sounds bigger, better, badder. So I was happy I grabbed Whitesnake, the rock album. That's today's episode of Friday Night Vinyl. Again, I love the card, and I'm happy to get all of this stuff. Love it. Let me know what you thought of today's episode in the comments below. I hope you, as I said, hope you dug it. If you did, I'd appreciate a quick thumbs up. Dear 33ers, I hope you have a great weekend. Until next time, keep on spinning.